Armistice zones, a wanted man's favorite hideout. It's also where most players will enjoy the guarantee of not being murdered by some random griefer. But is it always going to be the case? Let's talk about it in today's video. Welcome to the channel, I'm Irad, and you're watching What's Next for Star Citizen. Today we'll talk about Armistice Zones. For those who may not be familiar with Star Citizen, in Star Citizen, Armistice Zones are designed areas where combat and hostile actions are restricted to ensure the safety of players and NPCs. These zones are typically found in major space stations, landing zones, and certain high-traffic locations. Here's what we already know about them. So right now, there are some combat restrictions. Weapons, melee attacks, and ship weapons are disabled within Armistice zones. No crimes are also allowed as well. Committing crimes like an assault, murder, and theft in these zones can result in immediate law enforcement, fine, and even automatic crime stat increase. That is especially true outside of space stations. It's also safe for trading and socializing. These areas are intended to be safe for trading, shopping, and social interactions without the risk of griefing or random attacks. That's why, for example, Port Olisar was gone. There's also security presence there. The UEE has a lot of security forces, and station guards patrol these areas ready to respond to any possible violations. Last but not least, there's also docking and landing safety. Ships are protected from unauthorized boarding, and ship destruction is heavily discouraged in these zones. It's also worth noting that in Star Citizen, Imperial Games have progressively evolved the concept of Armistice zones to create a more immersive and dynamic gameplay experience. The traditional Armistice zones, which completely prohibited weapon usage in certain areas, are being reimagined to allow for more players' interaction while still maintaining safety and order. Recently, there have been a couple of recent developments here. For example, the green zones or Armistice zones have been relaxed a little bit in 3.11. Imperial Games indeed initiated a relaxation of Armistice zones by removing the no-fire restrictions around the exteriors of rest stops and stations. This change enabled players to engage in combat around these stations, accompanied by updates to the law system and the introduction of station defenses to manage potential conflicts. In the future, Imperial Games plans to continue this trend by further reducing the reliance on strict no-fire zones and instead implementing more nuanced security measures. For example, we might expect to see some dynamic security responses. The game will feature a security response system that assesses the cumulative crime stats of players in a given area, referred to internally as heat. Based on this assessment, the system will deploy security ships of varying strength and numbers to respond to threat, ensuring a balanced approach to maintaining order. Defenses will also be enhanced. To compensate for the reduced Armistice zone protection, station will be equipped with destructible defenses of various sizes, including small size 4 turrets on landing pads, size 6 sentries, and size 10 turrets around station perimeters. These defenses respawn after a set period of time and are designed to deter hostile actions while allowing for emergent gameplay. And also, hostile actions have legal repercussions. A new infraction called Armistice violation was introduced, classifying unauthorized hostile actions within designated zones as a felony. Players will receive warnings for minor infractions, but repeated severe violations will result in significant legal consequences, including potential arrest and imprisonment. These changes reflect Imperial Games' will here to create a more immersive and realistic universe, where players' actions have meaningful consequences and the environment responds dynamically to maintain balance and order. To understand how Armistice zones will change, let's have a look at the upcoming high-security system Terra, which is in development and planned for Star Citizen version 1.0. Terra will have strict law enforcement, making criminal activities much riskier compared to low security or lawless systems. Here's how security will likely be enforced in high security systems such as Terra. We can expect UEE Navy, advocacy, and local law enforcement. In high security zones, the UEE and the Navy, as well as the police known as the advocacy, will indeed maintain heavy patrols. There will be planetary and also system-wide law enforcement that will be present in assisting security efforts. And also, we should expect immediate personal response teams when a crime is committed. And the key here is really going to be how fast security is going to come. For example, it is expected that criminal activities such as piracy, ship theft, and homicide will trigger immediately security alerts. High-level security forces will rapidly dispatch powerful units, including heavily armed ships and NPC bounty hunters. Therefore, criminals may have very little time to escape before law enforcement arrives. Crime monitoring and law enforcement AI is therefore expected to be more advanced. There should be better AI control security forces, more frequent ship scans for illegal goods, stolen cargo, or high crime stat players. Some potential facial recognition and biometrics may be used at key checkpoints, for example, like those we see at city entrances. And also, we should expect crime stat and infraction escalation. For example, player with a crime stat may be denied access to certain areas. High crime stat players may be arrested on site in high security systems, and bounty hunters will be authorized to engage wanted players more aggressively. We should expect more heavy-grade defenses as well. Space stations and planetary ports will have stronger defenses, including turrets, security patrols, and perhaps even force fields. High-risk individuals might be therefore denied landing permissions at certain locations, as said earlier, but also cities and government buildings will have no-fly zones that will result in automatic destructions of authorized ships, just like what we can see in some areas in the verse right now. Finally, airspace over key locations will be heavily patrolled by AI-controlled security forces, so don't expect to be goofing around major landing zones. And that also means that perhaps if you commit a crime in high-security areas, prison sentences might be a little bit more severe. Getting caught committing crimes in high-security area like Terra, for example, will likely result in a much harsher prison sentence than if you commit a crime in the Stanton system. And so we should also see larger fines and arrest seizures, so players caught smuggling or engaging in illegal activities might have their ship, cargo, or even credits seized. Fines for crimes will therefore be significantly higher in high security system. And so, true to their high risk, high reward philosophy, that means that criminal gameplay in high security system will be extremely difficult. Unlike in low security systems like Pyro, where pirate activity is common, high security systems will discourage crime through powerful enforcement measures. Player looking for criminal activities may need to operate in lower security areas like Nyx or even Stanton. That also means that trade will be safer and civilian protection higher. High security systems will therefore be ideal for law-abiding traders, explorers, and civilians who want a safer experience. So there you have it, how armistice zones are bound to disappear and be replaced by actual systems that will enforce security. We hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome Star Citizen content. Don't forget, we got a giveaway this month on the channel, so I'm giving away an Anvil Super Hornet Mark II. Check out the pinned comment if you're interested in getting a copy of Star Citizen for yourself. Why not using the referral code in the description down below for free credits. Wish you guys a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. I've been Irad. Shout out to Dr. Fabin, Zero Crusher, Shadow Rise, and Ducky to Ducker. I'll see you guys in the next one.